afternoon, and welcome to Coffee with a Kick. I'm going to move my mic a little bit closer. There we go. I'm Xander Fadley. That is Keegan York, and we have just wrapped up the action here for Matchday 25. Is that correct? 25. 25. 25. Yes, I am multilingual, obviously. You've heard the end of these episodes. You know that I can speak so many different languages. It's rather impressive. Anyways, what is not impressive was our pick production this week. We've fallen off the wagon again. Unfortunately, both of us going 3-7. But you know what? I'm going to say it's not our fault because it was the teams. They let us down. The teams let us down is what happened here. Why don't we go ahead and just saunter away right into it to where things start off on the right foot here. Brentford and Liverpool, first matchup, and we both got this one correct. You thought it would be 4-0. I thought it would be 3-1. Smurge them together, and we both got this correct. Really, the 4-1 does not tell the tale of this, though. Brentford looked really good for a lot of this, and they could have been up in the first half an hour. They could have been up 2-0 or so on Liverpool because they were playing that well. And it was unfortunate that they weren't actually up at all. Many, many good chances. But then they just got beat. I mean, there was a great long ball out of Liverpool's back end to Diego Jota. Great header forward for Darwin Nunez, who put it away with a one-on-one with the goalkeeper. And that really did turn the tide a bit in the match, I felt like. And then the 55th minute goal by McAllister was well-deserved by Liverpool. The 68th one, though, was another defensive breakdown by Brentford because they were still in it at that point. Prior to that, even at 2-0, they were still pushing hard. But that third there with Mo Salah really kind of killed the match, even after Brentford's goal there in the 75th. They never felt like they were going to mount any sort of serious attack at that point.
Yeah, I feel like the Nunez goal definitely felt like Brentford was still in it. They still were attacking. They ended the half decently strong, started the half decently strong. The McAllister goal kind of took the wind out of their sails. It kind of felt like they knew that if they get the next goal, that's kind of it. But you're right, 4-1 I don't think does it justice. It just felt like a little too late for Brentford once Tony finally converted. So it's a tough match versus Liverpool. If you don't get out in front early, it's going to be really hard to actually keep them from scoring. So, yeah, I mean, they had fight. So it'll be interesting to see if they keep that fight up.
Yeah, definitely was. And then to the next one, which we also both got correct. So as you can see, there'll be a lot of we didn't get this one right going forward, was Burnley and Arsenal. You said it would be 3-1 with actually being somewhat close. I said it would be 4-1 Arsenal. Ended up being worse than that even. Did you catch much out of this one?
Yeah, Burnley actually, it was kind of strange. I feel like they didn't even want the ball. Like they kind of let Arsenal possess, and that was weird to me because once after about the first 15 minutes, Arsenal had possessed so much. I thought it's only a matter of time until they get a third, a second, fourth, a fifth. But Burnley, no shots on target, didn't ever really look threatening. Arsenal converted 5 of their 7 on target, so it kind of felt like a training ground game. It didn't really feel like it felt like potential champion versus potential relegation side. That it was not good for Burnley.
Yeah, and even the PK that they were gifted there in the 41st, like it didn't feel undeserved for Arsenal. They continue to look very, very scary for the top of the table here after the in the new year. With another convincing victory over a side they should beat, which we can't say for all the top of the table teams, because some of them didn't get any victories. We'll get to that in a moment, something we both got wrong. But yeah, Arsenal, it was another one where they were very good, and there's not much to say about it other than there was no contest. That was the note I had here. There's no contest here. It was Arsenal was so much better than Burnley, and they won 5-0 away. You know, away. They couldn't even put up any sort of organized defense to stop that from happening. And it was poor form for Burnley. Yeah, I don't think that they're really going to be putting much pressure up there for that 18th slot, that 17th, 18th slot. It's looking they're going down.
I think it was the Trossard goal in the 66th that the commentator made a comment that there were Burnley fans cheering just because another goal was scored, not because they knew their team was coming back. They mentioned several times it was like, this feels like Arsenal is at home at the Emirates. They look comfortable. Turf Moor was not a fortress today.
Definitely not. Moving to a match that we both also got this one wrong. Well, we haven't had that happen yet, but this is the first one where we both got this wrong because Villa showed up. Showed up for this one finally, beating Fulham 2-1. Villa looked very good for the first 60 minutes of the match. They were in control. Ollie Watkins got his brace with Telemans assisting in the 56th. But once Fulham got their 63rd minute goal, it kind of shifted because Fulham had been punchy throughout the match, nothing organized. But once they got that goal in the 63rd, they were pressing hard and they had chances in the last 30 minutes of the match or so to pull even, but they just couldn't convert. Really good goal there between Anthony Robinson, shout out to Jedi, and Rodrigo Muniz there on the near post. But they just couldn't get anything organized like that again for the rest of the match, even though they had, like I said, they had their opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, Flynn 21, I'm not sure how your boys didn't score there at the end.
Yeah.
They had so many shots.
Yeah.
Not a ton on target, but a lot of shots and a lot of chances. And Aston Villa, they looked really shaky there for, I think it was like 75th to 90. And, I mean, props to Aston Villa for not giving up a goal, but, like, they converted well. Yeah. 2 goals, 3 shots on target. Like you said, it kind of felt like they were in control, maybe not dominating, but in control in the first 60 minutes. But yeah, I mean, Fulham, I really expected them to get a second. I was shocked when they didn't. So that's a tough point droppage at home.
Yeah. I was really, my 2-2 was looking so good. My 2-2 pick was looking so good. But 'twas not to be. 'Twas not to be because Flynn, you boys let us down. But, you know, they get to go on from this to, who do they have up next? They've got Man U, so that's not great, actually. Not actually great to have up next.
10 weeks ago, you'd be eaten at that game.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if I want to play them.
Not so much. Rasmus has figured some things out here. Here's to one that we both got incorrect as well. Newcastle and Bournemouth, a 2-2 draw? Whatever, bro. Barely, I'll add. Barely a 2-2 draw. This is a story of Bournemouth doing well and then bailing out Newcastle. That was this whole match. Newcastle gets their 51st minute goal. Really nice. They really did play better than Newcastle for the majority. But then they give up a really long VAR review for a penalty that was like, because the guy was kind of offsides and then they got the shirt pull. But anyways, Anthony Gordon converts the 58th minute penalty. Bournemouth comes back. Really good goal by Semenyo. I don't know how you get beat far post from that angle, goalkeeper. But it was, it goes in, so you got to give him props for that. The Solanke-Semenyo duology up there at top of Bournemouth coming through again. But then you come down for 90 plus 2, and it was just barely squeezed in there on the post there with the header coming back across, getting deflected right back to the guy who then puts it in, Mr. Ritchie. Is just Bournemouth showing why they where they are on the table. They couldn't convert into the full 3 points when they had the chance to.
Yeah, the 90 plus 2, I mean, had a chance to clear it.
Yeah.
And just couldn't clear it, and then it falls right to Ritchie. It literally felt like a gift on Christmas.
Yeah.
It was like, you need a goal, so here you go. It was, yeah, and I felt like Bournemouth was the better team for much, maybe not possession-wise, but most of the match, they seemed like the more invigorated team, like they cared more to push up and get more chances. Yeah, I don't know what happened, but you're right. Not getting the 3 was tough for them because that could have gone a long way, especially away from home.
7 shots on goal for Bournemouth, outpacing Newcastle, even if Newcastle had more shots in total. But it felt Newcastle was chasing, and they are lucky to catch up, is what happened in this one. Then 2-1. Here's one. Now, there's a lot of bad picks that we made this week. Here's one that I hit on the head. All right, 2-0 victory. Nottingham Forest over West Ham United. And you know what? Deserved. I mean, Nottingham Forest controlled this match from beginning to end, it felt like. West Ham, finally I could depend on them to not show up and do anything cool at all.
Yeah, what a weird... I mean, shout out to Calvin Phillips, one of his first games in for West Ham, gets a red card. Yeah, I mean... West Ham, again, is one of those teams that I feel like has about, if we're splitting the season up into 13 weeks, first 13, they play real well. Middle 13, you don't know who they are. Back 13, they somehow get it together. But yeah, I mean, Nottingham controlled the game. They looked like they actually wanted to be there. There were times that West Ham offensively just kind of didn't look like they wanted to even press up. They would rather play defense. But Nottingham, I mean, their stoppage time themes. Both goals scored in the stoppage times of each half. And yeah, after the red card, I didn't really see West Ham doing anything. They might have had more possession, but it didn't seem like they had the legs to really actually mount a comeback.
Yeah, it was a Burnley-esque possession that they were having there. Not in this particular match week, because we talk about Burnley just ceding possession, but you know how they're normally possessing but not doing anything good with it at all. That was West Ham today, and I'm glad I did not trust in them like you did to actually draw this 1-1. Then to 1, I'm very glad I got this one wrong. You also got it wrong. Like I said, a lot of that happening today. 3-2 was what I had it for Tottenham over Wolves. You had it 2-2. Ends up being 2-1 from Wolves. A nice victory there away from the Molineux. And yeah.
Yeah, what a weird one. I feel like Wolves never had the ball in this game, but when they do, they were always attacking. It was like I don't know, they were so purposeful with the ball. They did not care to actually have it and like pass it around. It was, we get it, we're going. And it worked out. I mean, they had more shots on target, did not have a lot of possession, but really good response coming out of the half. Kulusevski getting the 46-minute goal, that could have just gone off the rails. But Wolves, I mean, they composed themselves. There's a little bit of an onslaught there to get the second for Tottenham, but yeah, I mean, they stayed in it. And in the 63rd minute goal, sealing it. I mean, that was huge. After that, I was pretty confident Wolves would see it out.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's on a lot of it's on Spurs, because the first João Gomez goal was just totally unmarked. Like, no one even attempted to mark him there on the corner kick. He was just all by him lonesome there, just a yard or so outside of the very middle of the 6-yard box. So that's on you guys. I mean, he converted a very nice header on it, but he was uncontested. So basically, it was just a practice header that you do on the pitch, the practice pitch. Second one, Pedro Neto just schooled you guys. I mean,
stunning.
Stunning. Just lightning speed. It's like all those years that we had Adama Traore, who was very, very fast but had no touch. It's like we just replaced him with a guy who has touch in Pedro Neto and a cool head, because he got all the way down to the touchline, basically pulls it back and sees João trailing, again unmarked, and plays off very nicely to him. And Gomez is able to put his foot through it and just hit it away from the goalkeeper and put in the second. And it didn't feel like the Wolves never had the ball. They didn't. Anytime that you're giving up over 70% possession to the other team, you didn't have the ball.
Most of it was like goal kicks, having the ball on the throw in. That was like probably half of their possession right there. But the counterattacking was on point in this one.
And it's what you have to do against sides that are, you know, more talented than you. I won't say better at this point because we beat you, but more talented. You know, you take advantage of their possession essentially and getting sucked up into the field of play. If you can beat them with speed, you beat them with speed. And they took full advantage of it, come away with a full 3, keeps us at 11th, but it's getting pretty congested there around underneath the top 6 teams with what we've got 5 teams within 3 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 teams within 3 points between 7th and 11th. So very tight right there. I mean, what does that mean as far as actual rankings and strategy? Like nothing, but it's interesting at least. Then we go to where were we? We were at to the next match, which is Manchester City and Chelsea. I'm putting this one solely on Erling Haaland. That's what I feel like comes down to this match. Erling Haaland should have had 2 goals. He should have had 2 goals. Unmarked headers essentially in the box. Misses them both. He may be healthy, but he is not in form.
Even just thinking about it, it makes me want to get up and walk off. But yeah, I mean, he forgot how to head the ball. The man who is supposed to replace Ronaldo's and Messi's forgets to. I get it. He was out for a while, but you just scored a brace, Erling. You just scored a brace. And, I mean, there was even another goal that he probably should have had as well, outside of headers. He had a pretty nice turn and hit and just, again, way off target. I don't know what happened. This was a game where we dominated possession, dominated shots, but not many of our shots were very purposeful. It felt like the season before we got Erling, where we just didn't have a striker who was in there who could convert, and it felt that way again. So Pochettino has Pep's number. I think Pep has only beaten him like twice in like 13 or 14 meetings. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I hated that Sterling got a goal. Mm-hmm. Don't like him, but he scored. But yeah, you're right. Erling Haaland ought to have put in a couple, and he didn't. And that could be the title. Like, if you drop points at this stage, that could be the title.
I mean, it'll come down to the reverse fixture at this point for Liverpool and City to see what happens there. If Liverpool can just hold them to a point, that may be enough. The sad thing is, though, we were talking about how Erling Haaland isn't converting. He's still leading the Golden Boot race. He's still sitting at 16 goals. Above Mo Salah, who's now up at 15 after this weekend.
Nothing if we don't win the title.
Fair.
Throw his goals out.
Fair. I mean, it's not. It's on. I feel like this one. He should take this one hard. He should try to figure out what's going on with his goal production, because should have won this one for City, I think, in total. Yeah. So your 6-1 didn't quite happen. And my 3-0 did not happen, obviously.
Yeah, Erling did shove a camera after the match, so
I'm glad he
appeared to be frustrated.
Glad he is mad. Should be. That's one of those ones where you're like, okay, at least you know. But Erling always seemed to be that guy, anyways. He likes to play soccer. There's some soccer players who are like, this is just my job. Like, I don't care about soccer. I think about Mario Balotelli back in the day. Like, there were things he would rather be doing than playing soccer. Erling Haaland wants to play soccer and wants to score as many goals as possible. So I know that he feels that as well. Then to one I definitely did not have on my scorecard. A 5-0 victory for Brighton over Sheffield United. Like, I can understand Sheffield losing, but 5-0 to Brighton, who's like not doing great right now. A 12th minute red card will definitely help that out if you're Brighton, but still, I mean, talk about really, really showing your colors here, Sheffield.
Yeah, I got 3 B words for you. Brighton's back, baby. It is looking like, even though they got the 13th minute red card and then they possessed the ball for like 90% of the rest of the game, Sheffield's, you got to still have some fight. I mean, they looked like scared cats out there, just hoping to not give up more than 5. And I mean, they played well from 25th minute to 74th minute. It looked like maybe they'll escape with a 2-0. Maybe they'll get a counterattack. Then there at the end, after the own goal, they just got slaughtered. So, yeah, I mean, 10 men or not, you're a Premier League side. You got to play a little better. Brighton's not playing well. Sheffield's actually playing well.
Yeah.
Like, this could be a game that determines the rest of the trajectory for these two seasons. Like, it felt like that kind of game. So, I don't know, but
yeah,
that's a tough blow.
You say they're a Premier League side. I say they're a Premier League side for now. Because this does not... They're already in enough of a hole that it's going to be hard to climb out of, coming back and trying to get... They're 7 points down on 17th still. And when that's 50%, over 50% of the points you have so far this season, you're at 13, you need to get up to 21. If they don't get another single point the rest of the season... I'm not saying, I'm just saying. You know what I mean? I'm not saying, I'm just saying. And then to another, now back down in the relegation section, Luton Town loses to Manchester United 2-1. We both got this one wrong as well, obviously. I had it inverted. I thought that Luton would figure some things out and be able to get two past them. Instead, Rasmus Højlund decided to score 2 goals in 8 minutes. Because why not?
Yeah, I felt like after the first 15 minutes, it really felt like a very even match. Felt like Luton played really well. They actually played up to Man U's game. I felt like Man U also played well. And it was more free-flowing than I thought it would be. Yeah. I really thought Luton was going to try to park the bus. But after Højlund's first minute goal and the 7th minute goal, it just kind of broke Luton out into their previous 5 weeks of, let's just go after it. Let's go get it. But yeah, I mean, I feel like it was a good match. Unfortunate to give up 2 goals in the first 7 minutes, but it's you can't expect to win by doing that. They got one back in the 14th, but yeah, I don't know. Luton impressed me though. They look like a side that could crawl out of the relegation zone now if they keep it up.
Yeah, let's see. They got Liverpool up next. So that's not great. But we'll get to the last match of the weekend here real quick with Everton drawing Crystal Palace 1-1 with an Amadou Onana 84th minute goal, bringing them back level. It was a tight match, I felt like, for the most part. Not a lot of good quality shots. But that Everton will take as many points as they can get because it does put them back level with Luton, but above them on goal difference because they are at -6 goal difference to Luton's -13. So that's pretty big for Everton getting out of the relegation zone. When they had that stretch there. Really, they're kind of still on it. They haven't won since, I think I covered this last time, they haven't won since December 16th. They've just been able to string together some draws here recently, so they're kind of staunching the bleeding a little bit. And when you don't have many points, 1 point is proportionally a much larger amount, That's how math works.
Oh, that's a good lesson. Yeah, nothing to say about this one. I felt like it was like a snoozer. There were some exciting points. The goals are obviously exciting, but honestly felt like the most Everton Crystal Palace game we've had in a while. Because neither of these teams did I think were going to be like, one team's going to go out against the other and destroy them. It just, both teams just trying to get a point and move on.
Oh, and didn't I see that, which one of their managers is now, did he resign because he's sick? Who was that? No, not Dyche.
Well, there's Hodgson.
Yeah, Hodgson, I think, stepped down. Hold on.
Yeah, it looks like Hodgson has stepped down.
Yeah, he's ill, is what I saw. He stepped down. It was after the match, I guess? Or just before?
I think it was before the match.
Yeah. So Roy Hodgson stepped down just before the match. That could be have something to do with how flat Crystal Palace came out. Just like that's a lot to take in just before a match. Also, they're still down a striker, so that doesn't help anything either. But that is the week that was match day 25. Like I said, you did get that one exactly correct, though. 1-1 draw was your prediction. So it really saved you, because you would have been 2-8 if that had not happened. Ended up being we're both 3-7. So one to put in the rear view. Put it in the rear view. Let's get back on it. This midweek we got some action going on that we're going to get to with a little sprinkling, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of Champions League, a little bit of Premier League, some makeup matches that we've got going on with top of the table teams. So it's not like these are pointless matches either. Do we want to hit anything before we get to that, or just roll right in?
I mean, these games coming up are softball, so I'm ready to hit those, man.
I certainly hope so. We'll go ahead and get to the first one here, which is Manchester City and Brentford. Brentford showed some spark, showed some verve against Liverpool. Manchester City, I think, will be out for vengeance here. They will feel bad about their draw in the midweek. I think that they take it. I'll take it 3-0 even. I think that they put together enough of a defense that they don't give up one of their silly goals like they tend to.
We have an angry Erling Haaland. We have an angry Pep. And we have a Brentford team that is approaching, as the bees, they're approaching their season of producing honey. And I think City is going to come in and just destroy the hive. Wow. Really I think I was wrong about last week being 6-1 because I knew it was going to be this week. So I'm going to go 6-1 again. Erling Haaland scores 4 goals.
Wow.
Foden adds 1. Maybe De Bruyne gets 1 too. I just think, I felt it last week. City is due for a drubbing.
Yeah.
We've been playing really well. Not sure what happened with Chelsea. It could have been a lot worse versus Chelsea had we converted. But, yeah, I mean, I think Brentford's – it's a City side that needs it and wants it. And Brentford is not – I think they're just going to be trying to save goal difference.
Yeah, and that did break a 6-match winning streak for City against Chelsea there. So they will want to get back to their winning ways, obviously. And that would put them 1 point off of first. We would have Liverpool at 57, City at 56, and Arsenal at 55, all with 25 games played. So that sets up for quite an end of the season run here. With all those teams, nope, not all those teams. With Liverpool and City being in Champions League action, right? Arsenal is.
Yep.
Liverpool's not. No, they're all 3 in there. Yeah, they all 3 made it through. Hold on, where did that note go? There it is. No, Liverpool did not.
Yeah, Liverpool did not make it through.
Speaking of Champions League, that was Tuesday. Today, obviously, is City and Brentford. As well, we have Inter versus Atletico Madrid. And then that's PSV, right? PSV and Dortmund coming up as well. The surprise winners. Jeez Louise, where did my paper? All my papers are out of order. Where did it go? Oh, it fell down.
Yeah, my show note is that Liverpool got 5th last season, so they were Europa League players.
Europa Leagues. Dortmund surprise winners of Group F, taking on PSV, and Atletico Madrid winners of their group, taking on Inter Milan. How do these two feel like they're going to go here?
Dortmund has not been playing their best, looking back domestically and even back to the group stages. They played really well to escape the group. I feel like they played up to par, but domestically, it doesn't seem like they've been playing too well. And they've been drawing some games they shouldn't draw. But it's hard to pick against them because it's PSV. I think PSV gets one. I think it's 2-1. Just because they're at home, PSV will get one. But I think it's hard to pick against Dortmund. Like I said, domestically, honestly, it doesn't look like they've lost any game since December 9th. They've drawn plenty, but it looks like they are on a pretty solid unbeaten run. So I think it continues. I think they win 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
Inter, I think, takes Atletico Madrid 3-1.
Wow.
I think Inter they have the defense, but I think they just have a lot better of an attack than Madrid does.
I've actually got that defense coming through for them a little bit in a more boring fashion, I guess I'll say. A 1-0 victory for Inter over Atletico at the home side, just because Inter can, I feel like, lock them down pretty well. And then I actually have the unbeaten streak remaining, but not a win. A 1-1 draw between PSV and Dortmund to keep things interesting going back to the yellow wall there in Borussia Dortmund's home place. Great place to great venue for watching soccer. And then that's Tuesday's action, 2:30 and 3 o'clock respectively for the two different sets of matches. Then we go to 2:30 on Wednesday, where we've got Liverpool and Luton Town. Boy. Yeah, I think Liverpool takes it fine. Hold on. So Liverpool will have another game in hand on City after this one then, won't they? Interesting.
No. Mine says this is just the first match day of week 26. So this won't be a new one. For some reason, they're playing on Wednesday.
Okay, that's really separated because the next matches aren't until Saturday. So they're getting a little bit ahead. Interesting.
Yeah, they're getting a few.
Well, then I will keep that for. Well, we'll go ahead and pick it because we have to. But I will. Whatever. That's messing me up. Obviously, I still think that Liverpool wins it. I'll go 4-1, similar to this week, but definitely more of a out and out victory as opposed to Brentford's action this past match day.
Yeah, it looks like the EFL Cup final between Chelsea and Liverpool is on Sunday. Okay. So that makes it make a little bit more sense. I'm not sure why Chelsea and Tottenham are postponed and this game isn't.
Yeah.
But that's why they're playing on Wednesday. I kind of like Luton to win here, 2-1.
Really? You homer.
And here's why.
You homer.
Liverpool will be setting their sights on getting Klopp a trophy. But Liverpool also has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 injuries on guys that have started more than 15 matches so far this season. So they're kind of depleted. I'm not saying they still can't put up 3 or 4 goals. But Luton's playing well. I think they're not going to do what they did against Man U and give up goals really quick again. Mm-hmm. So with all that to say, I'm feeling Luton winning 2-1. I don't know. It's probably my bias, but
I mean, I won't say it's your bias, but I was mumbling Homer to myself while you were talking. I don't know if you picked that up. It could be it could be like when Luton played Tottenham and it was a weird 4-4 draw. Maybe it's something like that. You take that too, because that's Liverpool dropping points. And then to the Champions League action on that day. There we go. Going to FC Porto versus Arsenal on Wednesday. And then Napoli taking on Barcelona. How are these two going to fare in your mind?
Boy, if you're a religious person, please pray for Porto. Yeah. I mean, they might get wiped off the face of their stadium because, they were in a group where it felt like they just had to get points against Barcelona and they would make it through. There wasn't really any other opposition. I never really thought I did think Shakhtar was going to play better than they did, but they didn't. So Arsenal's clearly the better team. I don't think Porto's going to stop them. I think it's 3-1 Arsenal. It's could be worse than that. Arsenal's playing well. Porto's not the team to stop that. Now, Barcelona and Napoli, that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Because neither team has really been consistent this season. There have been stretches where they played well, stretches where they haven't. Feels like a 1-1 draw for me. I'm trying to lean towards Napoli because it's at home, but I got to go 1-1.
Yeah, I'm getting that same sort of vibe as of you. I just got it as 2-2 for Napoli-Barcelona. Just feel like there's a little bit more firepower in the match than a 1-1 draw for no particular reason. And then, yeah, I've got a similar result. I've got his 4-2 Arsenal and Porto with Arsenal winning. Obviously, 2-4 technically. Yeah, Arsenal's just, they are in form, and there is not much that you're going to be able to do to stop them at this point. As nice as Porto has been, yeah, they came out of a group that was not as rigorous as might have been expected or experienced by Arsenal with their group wasn't great either, but they won it at least. Over PSV, Sevilla, and Lens. Lens put up some nice fight, but Arsenal end up racking it up, and they're riding what are they on? Are they on 5-6 wins currently in a row? 5 wins currently in a row in the Premier League, with them being emphatic wins: 5-0, 1-2, 3-1, 6-0, 5-0. That's a lot of goals. You're averaging 4 goals in your last 5 games. So that's why I've got you at 4 now. Don't hurt me on this one, okay? Help me out. Help me help you. All right. That's enough of that. And that is the week that will be the second half of the first half of the Champions League round of 16 matches. Then we will have a week off for Champions League before the reverse fixture occurs the week following in that first week of March. So looking forward to that, obviously, with some spicy matches that will take place then. But until we get there, do we have a trivia question to wrap us up here before we go to the end?
We do have one. I've done my research. I will not botch it this time. But which team has the record for the lowest amount of points in a Premier League season?
Oof. I hope we've got it. I hope it's in play. I don't know, obviously, because we won't get our answer till the next episode. But ponder that, if you will. What is the record for the fewest number of points scored in a season? Like, what's the name of the team, though? Which team has scored the fewest?
Which team?
So you don't.
And just so you know, it cannot even occur this season. It was so low.
Wow. Already. So fewer than 13 points then. That's dismal. That is dismal. That is tough. And it wasn't a COVID year, right? So it wasn't.
It wasn't even in the decade of 2010 to 2019.
All right. Hey, there's a hint. There's a hint. So
there's a hint.
Probably not going to remember this one then. My guess is that I wonder if they've made it back up since. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see in the next episode. Until then, probably Friday. We'll say Friday. Probably until Friday. Why don't you go ahead and grab some coffee, watch some soccer, and we will see you on the other side. Kia koa.